Hi, I'm Meryl Key, and this is my mystery school. This is the Heart of Tarot series where we go through the entire tarot deck from start to finish with everything you need to know about tarot. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any uploads. And if you want to support my channel, a like, share, comment goes down really well. Thank you. In this video, we continue uncovering the mysteries of the Minor Arcana with the second element of water, represented by the Suit of Cups. Get your cards ready, get your journal ready, and let's dive into the Tarot's cups. Welcome to the Heart of Tarot. In this section, we're continuing looking through the Minor Arcana. The Minor Arcana of the Tarot gives us the detail, the settings, and in some cases, the people that are involved with the story. We're up to Cups. Cups represent the element of water. They're connecting, loving, communicative. They deal with relationships and emotions. The element of water is about love, feelings, relationships, connections, displays of emotion and expression of feelings. Water is about sensitivity from the heart. It's romantic, it has fantasy and imagination, it's very creative. Water is ethereal, it finds its own level. It's also subconscious energy, it's healing and flow. The Ace of Cups is a love card, it's a yes. It brings around an abundance of feelings that overflowing, your cup overflowing with love. And it's given as a gift. This little bird up the top, some tarot readers call the crazy bird. But it's a symbol of immaculate conception and that divine spark of creativity that happens with union. The Ace of Cups is around new relationships, good news with relationships. It is a yes card. It's about, at its detriment, it's about that overspilling of emotion, where there's too much emotion and people get a bit ragged, they get a bit raw with all that's going on, the overwhelm and the overspill of tears and grief and just feelings. It's a card of new connections, of joy and contentment. It's a really beautiful card. Wherever you have it in a reading, there'll be new information, new emotional story coming through, new news of an emotional content. It's a blossoming card. It's about divine timing. 2 is the number of union and compatibility. And the Two of Cups is very, very comfortable. Water is a very comfortable element to be sharing and in union because it finds ways to merge. The Two of Cups is closely linked to the Lover's card. And in some ways, it's more lovers than the lovers. It's a card of trusted partnership, of new beginnings, of being able to share and find equality and trust and compatibility with otherness. The Two of Cups is a perfect card for new unions and collaboration. It's the beginning of new friendship. It's the beginning of new partnership, and it's where you know you can really put your trust. The Two of Cards is a really lovely card, and I call it a yes card as well. The Two of Cups is a real soulmate card. I absolutely love that they're looking directly into each other's eyes and meeting here in the middle. They're making a pledge. And the caduceus here is that healing intertwining of the masculine and the feminine energies. We can see down here, there's a double line, almost as if they're standing on a set or a photography studio. And the landscape that they have in the back, which brings to mind the 10 of Cups, is still some distance away. It's one of the happiest cards in the deck and relates to all kinds of pacts or pledges or relationships, including business relationships and a relationship to yourself. The Three of Cups is the girls' night out card. 3 is that number of expansion and exuberance. And with water, it's you want to share. And perhaps even you want to drink. 3 of Cups is a card of collaboration, of joy, of celebration. It is sometimes an announcement, or a celebration, like a wedding or a christening, a big birthday party, a bit of a shindig. This card is one where you join with others. It's a dance of joy, it's abundance, it's sharing. It's a really great card. It makes you feel happy just looking at it. 3 of Cups brings in helpful supporters. It brings in collaboration. But remember, 3 is a triangle. And sometimes this card, especially in love and relationships, can mean there's a third person. This card is definitely a lot of fun, but it can involve overdoing it. We can see all this lushness they have. It's very sensual, even though some of the goodies here look like they've been discarded. One of the interesting things with this card is the main figure has her back to us. The red cloak we've seen with the Justice card, with the Magician. And so we know this person has some sort of skill, the red meaning mastery, valor, courage. Why has she got her back to us? She's not showing her feelings. And that's why this card can sometimes bring up that trouble when there's 3, when there's 3 of you, whether it's a friendship, a monogamous relationship, or an open relationship. 3 of Cups, it always wants more. 4 is the number of stability. But water is not a stable emotion. It's not a stable element. And the 4 of Cups shows this petulance, disappointment, something that you've been offered that you don't want to take. I call this card the petulance card. He has 3 things down here, but what is being offered on an emotional level is not wanted. 4 of Cups is about boredom, frustration, belligerence. It's a bit petty and a bit immature. If this card was a song, it could possibly be Rolling Stones' I Can't Get No Satisfaction. But I try and try and try and try. Whatever is offered, this person has closed their heart to it. The initial gift, the Ace of Cups, with this, big cloud and big hand, is now not quite what it was wrapped up to be. So this is the offer you don't want to accept. It can also be a card that has imaginary conflict and jealousy in it, where you start to compare yourself to others, where you don't accept for fear of rejection. If this card came up in a reading about a job offer, I would expect that you may be offered the job, but it isn't what you thought you were going for. It isn't what was presented in the interview. The 5 of Cups is the card of grief, loss and sorrow. When water is in this 5 number of change, when emotions have to change, we often experience loss and sadness and confusion and regret. And that's what the 5 of Cups is about. Being focused on the loss without seeing what you have to rebuild or what you have to continue. 5 of Cups is a sad card. It's a bit of a no card. When we have a deeper look at the 5 of Cups, the liquid spilling out here is red. And at times I've felt that that's like blood, like family bloodlines, like families that are split. We can see the river carrying the emotions is moving quite swiftly. And in the background we have got a bridge, literally a bridge over troubled waters. But right now in this card, we're caught in the present, that real aching moment of grief, and unable to cross this path into a new place. The 6 of Cups is the good old days card. In this picture, we've got these 2 strange figures surrounded by this kind of nostalgic, sort of slightly distorted view. And they're sharing. So it puts on the rose-coloured glasses, remembering that cups are about emotions and feelings. The 6 of Cups is when you're looking back and the memory is a bit distorted. I also use the Six of Cups as a destiny card, representing past karma. And the relationship between these two is very healthy and loving. It's very giving and sharing and protective. I see it as almost a brother-sister relationship. But there's some distortion with the way the emotions are expressed and perceived. After the Five of Cups, the Six shows another stage of that grief, where we go back to sentimental places, where we get nostalgic. Because of these strange figures, they are slightly distorted and very much in their own little world. I sometimes read this card as a long-distance relationship where the physical interaction can't happen and you start to fill in with your imagination. I'd also look at this as an emotional or a fantasy online type of relationship. Even catfishing, where you're seeing what you want to see, you're believing what you want to believe. In its own right, this card is lovely, it's neutral. But if it's surrounded by difficult cards or manipulative cards, I would be a bit wary about what this gift is. It's a card where the past can come back to haunt you, where you might be going back to your hometown and seeing it through different eyes. It's also a card that can literally mean children. The Seven of Cups is the wish card. I call it the you don't know what you want card. This person has so much of this emotion going on, they can't tell what they want. Seven Cups presenting is too much choice for this person. What they want is through dream and illusion. And when you're caught up in too much emotion, you could have infatuation, you can have deception, you can be manipulated and be a bit lost and confused. And that's what this card represents. The Seven of Cups can represent any time that you're living in a smoke screen. It can also be gaslighting or emotional manipulation. What you want is out of reach and you're overwhelmed. You're unable to actually hone in and take what you need. On the face of it, the Seven of Cups looks like it's offering all these amazing, fantastic gifts. But that this figure is in this dramatic pose and darkened out in a silhouette, it goes towards making this whole thing kind of surreal. There's illusion and delusion with this card. There are theatrics and smokescreens. I don't really trust this card. Does this person want to reach great heights? Do they want love and beauty? Do they want riches and wealth, fame and recognition? Do they want power over the dark forces? Do they want transformation? This hidden one is supposed to be what the person truly wants, and yet it's hidden from view. And to be honest, 2020, I read this card as the coronavirus card. The smoke screen, the invisibility of it, the confusion and the fear. This section actually looks like a coronavirus to me, with the spike cells. If you're looking for clarity in a situation, this card can't give it to you. Because of this smoke screen in it and this fog, I also relate this to very cloudy, foggy thinking, to drugs and opioids in particular, where the memory plays tricks and there's a fog over the mind. In terms of health, I'd also be reading this as looking in the wrong places. The truth is very hard to uncover if this was a health reading. Something to watch for with the Seven of Cups. The Eight of Cups is the walking away card. I find this a very wise card, and 8 is that number of bringing the stability of the 4 together with another 4. So you've reached a time of accomplishment with this card. But emotionally, the Eight of Cups is when you decide the wise thing is to walk away, to turn your back on it. It's a card that says cut your losses. It's a card that can have disappointment, but the wise thing really is to move on. and let this one go. There's uncertainty. Sometimes it's a card of escape. But you can see here the figure has a staff with him. He's got something to lean on. He's got something that will guide him, some trust, some knowledge that he is taking with him. I'm very fond of the Eight of Cups. I find there's so much wisdom in this card. The fact that the moon is a full moon and a crescent moon, it's got this very serene face. It shows that there's someone bearing witness to this choice. It's when you have the strength to leave an unpleasant situation, a job or a relationship or a friendship. It's even when you have to leave in the dead of the night because that was the safe and the right thing to do, an escape. It's a vision quest into the wasteland, leaving the comfort of something to go and live for a time wild and free. There may be loneliness and weariness with this card, but I really feel the strength that this person is using emotionally, psychologically, to make that physical break and let go of whatever was built here. The Nine of Cups is a card of contentment, but there's a strange figure here. He has all of his cups, everything he's achieved, all this emotional satisfaction, but he has his back to them. After the Eight, where we've chose to walk away from some unfinished project or some unfinished business, we now have the reckoning of what you've got left with. This is a card that's called the Smug Merchant. And some tarot readers, and me included, imagine that this person is a slave trader and they've actually made their wealth from the emotional strength of others. So it's got a very mixed bag. If it's positively surrounded, this card is contentment and satisfaction. But I always ask that question, why is this person content when they're using these cards like the cups like a trophy? We call him the Smug Merchant. And his position tells us why he's sitting broad-legged, feet pointing out on a very simple bench. He's got the fancy hat on, and you have to wonder, is this the merchant who was first looking out? Who then had big plans and reached out overseas? And now, with the Nine, is in that place of accomplishment. There's definitely abundance and pleasure in this card. But with the arms folded across the chest, we know this person isn't outward and giving. They're very proudly sitting there in front of their trophies. For health, I can sometimes read this card because this looks a bit like intestines, as a blockage in the intestines. Or perhaps an addiction around always wanting more. Not necessarily gambling, but sometimes overeating and emotional eating I would see with this card. Now, one of the kooky things about the Nine of Cups, have a close look at this person. He looks like John Travolta. The Ten of Cups I call the Brady Bunch card. It's the card of happiness, of emotional fulfillment and security, of family living, of everything you've wanted to achieve is there like a rainbow before you. It's almost too good to be true, this card. But you can see from the beginning when we had our ace, here's our ace with the single cup overflowing. By the time we reach the 10, there's enough for everyone. It's a card of happiness, satisfaction, contentment, emotional accomplishment, and in this society, that often means a happy partnership where you're raising family, where you're connected to community and the land, living self-sufficiently. The Ace of Cups, is a yes card. Beautiful card, happy card, and in some ways a bit too good to be true. The river we have leading back into the house shows that emotional journey that these people have been on. They are looking somewhere over the rainbow. And if we link it back to the Two of Cups where the romance began, there's the landscape that they travel in. I feel we're on the other side of that now. And there's only one line dividing us, not two. This card is like the lovely house in the nice street with the picket fence and the two kids. And there is a sense of gratitude, of expansiveness and openness. This is a lovely yes card. Let's have a review and go over the names of each card. The Ace is the Cup of Love, the Trusted Partnership, the Girls' Night Out. Number 4, Four of Cups, the Petulance card. 5, the Grief card. 6 of Cups is the Good Old Days. 7 of Cups, You Don't Know What You Want card. The 8 of Cups, Walk Away. 9 of Cups, the Smug Merchant. And the 10 of Cups, the Brady Bunch card. You can see with the cups, by the time we reach from 1 to 10, water increases the emotional satisfaction and safety and security. It's harder for water to be left alone. With the 4 of Cups, we experience disappointment. The 5 of Cups, we experience grief. By the time we're in the 10, we've got happiness. We've worked our way through. We've weathered storms, and we now have the emotional maturity to care for others. Timing for the cups, because water moves a bit slower and it's connected to the moon, is usually months. But I'd also be looking at times that the sun is in those water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The cups are a feminine quality. It loves to merge and connect. If you like, you can try a relationship spread. This one is called the Internet Dating Vetting Spread. The card in the centre shows their intentions. Second card, are they trustworthy? Third card to the right, what are they attracted to in me? Above we have, what are they really offering? And below we have the date, or your first meeting. And final card number 6, advice on this. I find this one gives you a lot of information before you actually step out the door with this person. Take the time and play with your cards. Get to know the elements and let the cards speak to you. We'll see you in the next video where we continue the Minor Arcana, looking at the Swords element, the element of air. I'm Meryl Key, and this is The Heart of Tarot and my Mystery School. Thanks for continuing on in this course with me. See you in the next one.